Hello and welcome to International Leaders Unite, episode number 2. I'm your host, Ms. Ché B-O-S-S-L-A-D-Y, and I'm joined with some amazing speakers worldwide from each continent across the globe. Is Unleash Your Higher Self. But before we get stuck into that topic, I just want to have the speakers to introduce themselves one by one, starting off with the amazing Anna from the Americas. Anna, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Lucía Escobar. I'm from Panama, and it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm a coach that specializes in really bringing out the strengths and everybody really being able to love themselves and really take it from there.
Absolutely fantastic. Coach, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. This is Coach Jeet. I am a peak performance coach, and I help people to get the best out of life. That's the shortest way I can explain myself. And I'm glad and honored to be here. Thank you so much, Ché, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm glad to be a part of this team. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on board, Coach. And I must say, I love the energy and the enthusiasm. Keep it going. Next, we have the amazing... Hi, Lucy. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luciane Sperling. I am originally from Brazil, but I live in Australia for 11 years. And I'm an author and inspirational coach for specializing in women and girls to empower and inspire them for a better life in the future. So thank you so much for having me here, Ché. I'm very pleased to be part of this team. Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Welcome. And last but not least, we have amazing Zwelibanzi. Please introduce yourself.
Good day, everyone. My name is Sapula from South Africa. I am I'm a project infrastructure development person, but I also do coaching as well as building teams and helping people to make a living. And I'm so excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to learning so much from everybody on this panel, and also to sharing some of our thoughts from down here in South Africa.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, speakers, for introducing yourselves one by one. It's just amazing because now what I want to do is I want to go through the time zone. So right now it's 3:30 p.m. in London, UK. Anna, what time is it over there in South America, in North America?
It's 9:30 a.m. here in Panama.
Woo! Coach?
It's 8 p.m.
8 p.m. in the evening?
Yep, in India.
Lucy from Australia?
Oh, it's very late. It's 12:30 a.m. in the morning in Monday already.
Oh my God, you're in Monday. Hello, Australia.
Hello, Monday.
And
it's very cold.
It's 4:30 in the afternoon.
We are about to enter winter, Lucy, and we're about to enter summer. So, Zwelibanzi from Africa, what time is it there?
It is 4:30 in the afternoon down here in Johannesburg.
Woo! I'm loving this time zone. So, you know what? It's so powerful because what we're doing right now, we're making history, guys. We're connecting world leaders from each continent across the globe, okay? And each of us, I just want to say, we are officially leaders, okay? There's been a change up to the lineup of speakers, and these are your official resident speakers. So please give them a round of applause, guys, from wherever you are watching in the world.
And for everybody as well.
Okay, so if you don't know about cardinal signs, before we just jump straight into the topic, cardinal sign is a leader. So we all are natural leaders according to our astrological energies, okay? So that's just simply amazing. So today, each month, we're going to have a speaker that's going to lead the subject. Last month, I led the subject, and the subject was the law of attraction. So if you missed out on that, then go to YouTube and type in International Leaders Unite, episode number 1, okay? This month, we've got Anna from Panama, who's going to be leading the discussion, which is on self-awareness, unleash your higher self. Anna, over to you.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate this energy, and it's really awesome to see all the perspectives from all around the world. But at the same time, we agree on many of the things. At least this is what happened on the last call. I'm eager to see what happens in this call. So here we're trying to unleash our inner selves, and what that means to me, it's in the basis is basically what is self-awareness. So I looked up the definition, and self-awareness is defined as like a conscious knowledge of one's character, feelings, motives, and desires. And this is like the textbook definition, and I found it really interesting because it involves everything. It involves who we are. It involves also how we feel, but what's behind our feelings, and where do we want to go. I also found a quote from Aristotle that says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And I found this especially true for myself, and this is why I chose this topic for this call. In my own personal journey, I for a long time thought that I just had to be someone else, or that in order to be effective, I had to change who I was and then fit into a role that was that I thought, you know, you had to fulfill. So in that journey, I found that everything started to go wrong. Even my body started to feel sick. And so now I understand that that to be your true self, you first have to know yourself. You have to appreciate the gifts that were given to you. Like, you are blessed with these gifts. Why are you trying to change them, you know? And but then at the same time, you really have to work on them. You have to put a lot of work into it. It's not just like, oh, I have these gifts, perfect, now I can just, you know, be myself and that's it. You actually have to, you know, get out there, try new things, have the courage to do things that you thought you couldn't do. And then when you go into like the next step, it all starts all over again because you want to grow to the other next step, you know? So I'm really excited to hear from all of you. I would like to know first how you would define self-awareness. So let's start with Coach Jeet.
Oh, thank you, Anna. That was amazing. Thanks for sharing that. To me, I will focus on one aspect of like knowing yourself is like most of us are confused about how to choose their own career or how to lead their life. So that again depends on knowing your own self. So for me, I advise most of my clients is that if you are trying to figure out what business you should be in or what career you should be in, I just ask them one question. If I take out the monetary factor from your business or your job, will you still work? They said, no way. No way I'm going to work that. It's like, then you are in the wrong business or in the wrong job, because you have to have the inner drive that drives you without any external motivation. And for that, you need to understand yourself, what drives you, what is actually your passion, where you belong. And without understanding your own self, it's extremely tough for any one of us to get out of this noise around us of people's expectations. People assume us to be something else. Our family wants us to be something else. We want us to be something else. There's so much of noise around us. We lose ourselves in this noise, and reviving our own self and realizing who we actually are is the most crucial factor. Like you said, you know, it's beginning of all wisdom, and then your journey begins. So that's how I treat my clients. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely beautiful, Coach. I think that's amazing. That is well said. I just want to say to the audience, guys, you can start off and have one passion in mind. Okay, something that you love doing at the time. But as we get older, sometimes our plans and our passions change, and there's nothing absolutely wrong with that. I want to encourage anyone that's going through that right now, don't feel like you have to stick and stay where you are. It's okay to step outside the box. I'm going through my own transition right now, so I'm speaking from the heart when I'm speaking to you guys, okay? So I completely understand that. It's okay for you to develop and grow. It's all about growth, okay? Doing what makes you happy. Coach, that was absolutely beautiful. Zwelibanzi from Africa, I see that you was really in agreement with what Coach was saying. Do you want to add on to that?
Essentially what Coach was saying was actually spot on. I mean, self-awareness goes beyond just knowing who you are, though. It's about knowing who you are, knowing what makes you who you are. Because if we really look at ourselves, we realize that who we are is a complete sum of all of our experiences that we've had before this moment in time. And it's very important to understand what has made you who you are based on your previous experiences. However, I would also caution to say that a lot of the things that we've learned about ourselves, or that a lot of the things that have influenced who we are today, not all of it is completely who we really are. But sometimes it's what we've been told we are and not necessarily who we really are. And it's very important that every single human being and as a person, you go into yourself and truly identify not only with what you've been told who you are, but who you are and what you want to become. Because I'm a believer in that who we become and what we decide we want to do can be whatever we think of, because we can define who we want to be. But a lot of the times we are defined by what people say we are. And we need to change that concept and actually really get in touch with ourselves and get in touch with our true identity, which is not defined by what people tell us we are.
Absolutely gorgeous. Anna, I know you're resonating with what Zwelibanzi just said, because you started off the conversation about saying, you know, you felt like you had other people's expectations of you, of what you felt you should be, and their projections. So before we come back to you, Anna, let's go over to Lucy, so Lucy can have a say on this as well. Really, really interesting to hear what you got to say on this, Lucy.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely amazing what I have been listening from you guys. I'm already making my notes here, because I always like to learn more with leaders around the world. I always make notes about what people are saying. And I totally relate with what Anna said about we can feel sick. I actually made notes for tonight about that. If we are self-aware, we need to be self-awareness about our body, mind, our health. And we can really be sick if we are not having self-awareness of our body, what's going on in our mind, what's going on around our life, and what's affecting our well-being in general. So if people cannot have a time for themselves and look inside themselves and find the really true about themselves, not about what the world is talking about you, as Mrs. Zweli said. So sometimes we grow up in a world that our parents say something to us, and we keep believing that for the adult life. And that's not true. That's maybe not your true, but you need to find your true about from your self-awareness. And how you find that? You find that knowing yourself, knowing your passion, as the coach said, and finding your true beliefs. And if you can't really know who you are, but you want to be someone, copy someone that's already there and pretend you are that person until you became that person, if you want to be that person. That's what we do with our big leaders. I wasn't born as an author, but I was copying my big leader, my mentor, my coach. And then now people are copying me, because we are having guidance and wisdom from people that are already there where we want to be. And this is part of self-awareness too. I don't know if you agree there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's inspiration. We do very much so encourage people to seek out the people who's already doing what you want to be doing, and take out the best bits from each of them that you like, and then put them together and be even more powerful, step even more into your higher self. So for me, your higher self is all about attaining that level. I see it like a shadow. I see like me as the little person here and my higher self here. So every time I go further, my higher self would always be increasing more and more and more. I'm always going to be evolving. I'm always going to be growing. I'm always going to be expanding, thinking better. My mindset is going to change. So for me, this is all about, you know, the higher self. And when you tap into the higher self, for me, that's when you unleash all your potential. You unleash all your possibilities, all the things that you're capable of doing. You realize it. Even it makes you even more aware of the power of suggestion, the words that we use, how we use them, the effect it's going to have on us, because it's about being aware of self and also the impact that it's going to have around us. Because our bodies are 70% water, and water holds DNA, water holds memory. So all these things have crucial parts on us. So Anna, I think that's beautiful what the speakers have said. What's your point on that, Anna?
I think that it's all very true. I also would like to zoom in into a specific aspect, because we as like, now that I am a parent, I don't think that my parents did me wrong, like by maybe not appreciating my talents, but I think that what happens is not so much a verbal it's not verbal communication. I mean, my parents never said to me like, oh, that talent, that's awful. You know, they never said that physically or verbally to me. But however, maybe it's by the little things that you hear around the house, or the things that you, like, they praise some things and others not. And then you grow up believing, oh, wow, they really value those things and I don't have that. So that must mean that, you know, there's something wrong with me. So I think that those details are really what really get to us, and not just from our parents, but from our colleagues or teachers or bosses, or, you know, the whole atmosphere.
So before we go, sorry, Anna. So before we go into your second question, Anna, I just want to add on to what you eloquently just said there. That's so true, because it's like there's two parts of our brain. We've got the left side and we've got the right side, okay? So some of us are trying to go into school and they're teaching the left side of the brain. So if you're somebody that works with your right side, you're going to feel stupid or inadequate when you try to match that. So it's about knowing your learning style, knowing what you're good at doing and whatnot. You know, so I think that's so important, because when as parents, we need to know what are our skills in children so that we can best develop the best in them, rather than put on them our expectations or the things that we're good at. You know, so I think that's absolutely beautiful, and it's a really good point that you made. So Anna, you're leading this conversation. Take us to your second question.
Okay, so with that said, it doesn't, like, there has to be some sort of switch in our brain. Like, something has to happen, or you just start feeling it, right? So how did the speakers themselves get comfortable with being who they are? Because if we're, for example, in my case, I for a long time thought sort of like I had gotten a bad deal. Like the gifts that I were given to me, like, you know, I think I was last in the line, you know, kind of deal. So I had to go through a process of really getting into appreciating my gifts, and then working from there and saying, you know, this is who I am, and that's great. Not this is who I am, and well, so be it. You know, it's a very different language when you get into that. So I'm curious to know, how did you guys get comfortable in your own skins? Like, how did you feel like, wow, not only are these my gifts, these are awesome gifts? So Lucy, could you answer that?
Yes, thank you so much, Anna. Well, about feeling, I think it's about perceptions. As soon as I moved my perceptions away from what the world was thinking about me, and I was more empowered to think about my own perceptions about the world and about my feelings and about what I feel about people. So that changed. That was my switch for me, I think. The perception is very powerful. And sometimes we have the same event, the same thing, the same little sparkle, but the perception is different from different people, even in communication or even in a body language. So I believe that the perceptions that I started to have about myself and my worth and my value, that was the thing that switched my mind and brought me to where I am now. And it was a long process, as you said. It was a process of growth.
Okay, Ms. Ché?
Well, for me personally, I find that I'm somebody that's quite vocal. I was going to put my hands up. Somebody that's quite vocal. I understand my strengths. And people used to say to me, you know, you should be a lawyer, you know, or you should be a pastor. Like, my mom used to say to me, go use your mouth for something good, when I was little. Because I always had a lot to say and always had an opinion. So I always like what my gifts were, and I ended up being a motivational speaker where I encourage people. So I've always been that sort of person to want to seek out the truth. But part of self-awareness is knowing to accept the truth, every little bit about yourself, good and bad, right? So I'm in line with my feelings. I'm in line with my calling, because part of self-awareness is knowing what you want to do, because you need to be aware of who you are, what your gifts, strengths, and talents are. That will then set you up to what you're supposed to be called to be doing in this world. So I can say that I had to accept me, all of me, flaws and all, good and bad. And then I was able to package it up into a best form where I can then give back. because I'm all about giving, which is one of the subjects we're going to be discussing on with Coach Jeet. So I really want to just be able to say that, get in tune with you. Switch off the noise from everyone else. Okay, it's all about you. You have to be true to yourself, because when you're authentic, then you naturally flow. Thank you, Anna.
Okay. Ziviza, what do you think?
Oh, so honestly speaking, in terms of being able to find my own space. So I've played a lot of sports in my life, and I always use sports as an analogy to explain everything, because I think sports is such a wonderful thing and it allows you to explain anything. So I played football, and the one thing that I've always known is that you get different players on the field, and all of them have different roles and responsibilities on the field. And that's kind of how we are in life. We're all different in terms of our abilities, our skills, our personalities, and so on. And we were born with all of those things because we have a certain purpose that we have to fulfill in life. And it doesn't help anybody if you try and fulfill a role that is not your own. It doesn't help anybody if you try and fulfill and do something that somebody else is supposed to do and not what you were meant to be. You can only be the best you in the world because there's no other person but you. And it's when I realized that, I really started realizing that as a person, I really need to start looking at myself and start accepting and enjoying the things that I have and the skills that I have, and actually growing in them, and instead of trying to push them down, trying to be like someone else. You know, sometimes I look at kids nowadays and they look at celebrities, and everything they want to be is what the celebrities are. But they sometimes forget about who they are, and they sometimes forget about what skills and natural talents they have and that they've been given. And it's only when you really sit down every single day and you reflect on the day and what has happened in the day, and you actually start realizing who you are, because you start asking yourself, how did I, react to this? How did I, react to certain situations? Or how could I have done things differently or better? And that actually makes you realize more and more who you are. And I think it's very important that people do that, actually, to actually sit down every single day and reflect on themselves and reflect on your own personality and reflect on the things that you do and reflect on the skills you have and reflect on the, on the wonderful ways of doing things that come with you. And I think that for me has what has allowed me to become more comfortable with who I am. It's realizing that I have a specific role to play in life, and I just have to play that out, and nobody else can play that role better than me.
That's true.
Can I just interject there? Sorry. Can you elaborate on that, please, Zwelibanzi, when you said about writing things down?
Okay, so the key thing is this, that who do you want to be and what are you? And a lot of the times we think about things, right? But we sometimes don't get to see it and really truly understand it until we actually write it down and reflect on it. So for example, when somebody sets goals, it's great to have goals in your head, but unless you write your goals down and actually read them to yourself regularly, you won't achieve them. Same thing with your personality. You're only aware of who you are when you actually verbalize it or communicate it or put it down on paper, because it's only when you externalize it do you really realize who you are. But a lot of the times we keep it internal and try and protect it because we are always scared of what other people will say or react to who we are. So we keep it inside. But if we actually externalize it, it's more easier to embrace who we are when we do that. And if we don't fear that other people will not accept who we are, but if we accept who we are and we are comfortable enough to externalize it, that allows other people to accept who we are. That is why I'm a true believer in reflecting every single day and putting it out there, putting it on paper, because it starts there. When you are able to externalize it to yourself, you'll be able to externalize it to the world.
That's powerful.
Wonderful. That was wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Coach Jeet, anything you would like to add?
Yes. So, I was not like this before. I was an absolute introvert. And it would take me hours to even express a single emotion that I have been, developing for days. I was that kind of a person. But as I started growing up, I had this immense understanding of what's going on around me. And I had this the burning desire to speak and help people. But due to my introvert nature, I was not able to express myself. So the only way to realize what you truly deserve is to understand what's your burning desire that's inside you and what you are willing to do to make it happen. So for me, it was an immense compulsion that a desire that I had inside me that made me open up and express myself. And when I started expressing myself, like all the speakers mentioned, it was a phenomenal, environment that was created around me. I got immense amount of reactions and response from people who I helped, and it worked with them, and they got phenomenal responses, and they started getting wanted. So it gives you immense fulfillment when you are living your dream. So my dream was to help people. I had this burning desire to contribute to people's lives and do my bit and touch lives, and which my introvert nature was coming in between. Only when I started reflecting, like Zoe said, when I started reflecting on myself, like what I need to do to express myself, to get all this information, this idea, this understanding out to people, phenomenal things that are happening around me, and it was an amazing experience.
I think the general perception is really to kind of go into that self-reflection, know what your desires are, and it was mentioned, really writing it down. I would like to know what other tools there are to really kind of get to know yourself. And I would like to add that this idea of sharing it, it's true that you should never like completely base who you are on other people's opinion. However, if you interact with others who are close to you, have your best in mind, and really ask them, like, what do I bring to the table? How is it different when I'm here and when I'm not? Like, what do I give you, and why are you my friend, sort of? These kind of questions really help you kind of say, wow, this thing that I thought everybody did naturally, or this thing that I thought, it was just like nobody appreciated because everybody has it, really is not. It's really unique to me, and I bring it because I am me, and no one else brings it. So these conversations are really interesting. Are there any more tools that you would like to add to, we have already writing it down, speaking to others, Ms. Ché?
Personally, I think taking time out to reflect and meditate, that's not something that's strongly advised in the world nowadays. A lot of people, especially if you're from certain religious groups, they don't really enforce to meditate. I would say, because we've already had writing it down, which is powerful already. We spoke about last month when Lucy was saying the importance of writing things down. So we get that part. But for me, I think other than that, to allow other speakers to be able to contribute with their opinion, I would definitely say meditation, where you sit down, take time to just reflect on self, where you're going wrong, where you can improve on. I wouldn't even really call it so much wrong, but where you could improve on, what you could do better on. So for me, those are my personal things to know when I feel out of alignment. I need to listen to myself. I need to go by my feelings as well, because part of self-awareness is about feelings, being consciously aware of your feelings. So I need to stay in alignment. So for me to do that meditation, I find that meditating at the river out in nature really works well with me. Like it's a really perfect spot for me to do it. So I would love to hear what the other speakers will have to contribute towards that.
Yes. Lucy, go ahead.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. While you were talking, I was with meditation in my head when Ché spoke about it, and really getting connection with the nature, and meditation close to the sound of the water gets me easily into my instincts, into my thoughts. But the self-awareness is all related to exactly thoughts, sense, emotions, and perceptions. So when you get connected with yourself, your inner self, if you find a tool that works for you, so use that tool. For me, it's meditation too, and close to the nature. So that's what I do. reading good books as well is amazing. And if you can read a book that is already from a person that walked the path and is already in front of you forward, you know, so you're gonna really have a good tool when you're reading something about the experience. You know, every life experience from people is amazing, is very contributing. And as you said, Anna, when we are with friends or people, we always try to find how I can collaborate, how my gift can help those people around me. And that just brings you more joy and more awareness and more confidence, and then people will be more connected with you as well, and maybe will see you as a role model or as an example and find their own gift too.
Okay, that's amazing.
Just want to give a shout out. Sorry, Anna. Just want to give a shout out to Fred Jones, who's watching from America. He said, hey, Fred, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. God bless you.
Hello.
Sorry, back.
That's amazing. Okay, I would like to, Coach Jeet, do you have any more tools?
Oh, yes. What I usually tell my clients is to do something really weird. You might perceive is as looking yourself into the mirror as clearly as possible, because we have an idea in our head of who we are. We have developed a personality of who we are, but when you look into the mirror, sometimes you will see a different person standing in front of you. And that person needs improvement. Sometimes it needs development, upgradation, connection, love, whatever it needs, it will be right in front of you. And it's right in front of your eyes, and there is no way you can miss it. So when you look into yourself as a critic, not as being a personality or anything, being a critic, being a third person, you will see there are so many things that you can improve upon, and you can develop, and you can grow. And so much of love and connection and emotion is required, and to bring the completeness out of you. And I think reflecting into the mirror gives you an edge, but that, again, I make it a little more further when I tell my clients to not just look into yourself in the mirror, but talk to yourself into the mirror. Why? Because when you talk, you sometimes make awkward face expressions or body gestures or language that you feel awkward about, consciously or subconsciously, that stops you from expressing yourself completely. So this kind of activities helps one person to actually understand where they're lacking, and they can actually focus on certain like specific areas in their physicality or their behavior or their looks to get the maximum out of themselves.
Love that.
Great, that's lovely.
Love that, big time. That's amazing. That's powerful, because you usually just hear people say, do a mirror exercise and speak positive affirmations into the mirror. But then to go the next step is what you're saying. I think that's absolutely powerful, because we don't pick up on those facial expressions that we make, or the way we're sitting, you know. So maybe we do need to look more in the mirror and see, how am I presenting myself, you know, and how am I saying it when I'm expressing myself to the world.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can I just complete something about it? If I can say a little note about the self-awareness, can I, Anna?
Sure, go for it, Lucy.
Oh yes, I wrote a note because it's from my book, and one of the chapters of my book, it's called Touched by Awareness, and it's chapter 3 of the book. And one of the things that I wrote there, I remember now, is it's about the two categories of the emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is something that is really powerful. And the two categories is social awareness and personal awareness. So social competence and social competence and personal competence. And both of them, there is awareness related. So it's just something that I would like to to include, because if you read something about emotional intelligence, you're going to be finding a very good tool as well about self-awareness. Thank you.
Can I just add something? So the way that I've always looked at this topic, I always break down self-awareness into 3 different parts. The first part is the aware of yourself and aware of the things that you like and the things that you enjoy and the things that you are good at. The second part is being aware of the reasons why you do certain things when you are faced with certain situations. Then the third one is being aware of where you are in your life right now. Now, important is in order for you to use tools to identify where you are in each of those parts. The first one, which is really great, talks about reflecting and affirmations and standing in the mirror and seeing yourself, which is great. It tells you who you are, how you perceive things, and the things that you like and what your goals are and what you want out of life. The second part, which a big part of it has been influenced by our experiences and by what people have told us we are, is how we react to certain things. For example, somebody might believe that they are shy. Like Coach said, he says he saw himself as an introvert when he was still younger, and he had to grow out of that. And the thing that I always do is I always sit and I ask myself the questions, but why do I behave the way I do when certain things happen? And when you start asking questions like that about yourself, you start realizing that there are certain truths about yourself, or sometimes untruths, that you've actually believed about who you are and about where you are, that actually prevent you from even being yourself or from being able to do anything. And I think it's quite important at times to actually also ask yourself those kind of questions when you are faced with situations. Ask yourself the question, but why do I do this? Or if somebody says something about you, why do you react the way that you do? And that is very important, that we actually question that, and that will actually make you realize who you are, because the way you react to those situations is because of certain things you believe about yourself. It's also because of certain things people have said about you that you have internalized and believed, but some of those things may not be true. Just like Coach, I used to be told that I'm an introvert, that I'm shy, that I don't speak well with people, and that I'm not a good talker. But since then, I speak on stage. I change people's lives. I'm able to help people become better. Why? Because I ask myself the questions, why do I behave that way? And then when you ask yourself the questions, you realize internally who you are and why you do certain things. And you realize that some things are not real, but they are mistruths, and you should actually start to focus on the things that are real and that are true to you. Then the third part, which I think is quite important as well, is where are you in your life? You know, sometimes we don't question that. We always think about who you are and the things that you believe, but we forget about the fact that your circumstances also sometimes change where you are, and you react to circumstances depending on where you are in your life. For example, if you're married and you have a wife, your life tends to be slightly different than somebody who's single. And also, most importantly, the way you react to life and the way you do things also changes slightly depending on your status in life in terms of where you are. And sometimes we don't question that enough. A lot of the times we assume that everything is the same regardless where you are at. But actually, people behave differently depending on the status of their life at that moment in time. Doesn't mean that that is who you are permanently. It's who you are at that moment, because sometimes at that moment, a certain part of you needs to come out more than certain other parts. So it's quite important to evaluate all those three parts together and not see each one as individual or isolated. All of it comes together to define who you are and where you are at and how you can move forward. I always believe that in life, you can't move forward if you don't know where you are right now. So those three are very important to take you forward.
Absolutely.
Can I add on to that point?
Thank you very much for that.
Anna?
Yes, wow, that was an amazing response, and it's so true. And I would like to, for the final question before we start wrapping up, I would like to ask, what is the role of self-awareness when you become a leader, because once you become a leader, it means that there's others around you. When you work in a silo, or all you have to do is deliver or produce, you know, you manage yourself. But then when you become a leader, that means that you have people that are dependent on you. So you have to communicate who you are, and you also have to listen to who they are. And in my personal experience, self-awareness has really, really helped me delegate, because I was a doer, and I still am a doer, but like I had to really keep in mind that in order to let others shine, which is really what a leader does, I needed to be aware of what I brought to the table and what they brought to the table, and many times acknowledging that I was not perfect and that I could not do it all, allowed them to shine in the areas where they were great, and that has been really transformed the way that I lead my groups. So I would like to know.
So before we just jump into your last question, your last and final question, I just want to add on to what Zwelibanzi was saying, which is really important. I want to encourage everybody that's listening to what Zwelibanzi just said. Right now is not forever. Okay, it is subject to change. How you're feeling right now is subject to change. What you're going through right now is subject to change. Don't feel like this is your life and you're trapped and this is it, all gloom and what am I going to do? There's always a way out. See them as challenges. Above the challenge, and you make it just a situation, suddenly you can rise above it. But when you make it a problem, the problem is now bigger than you. So it's all about perception and mindset and being aware of how you're feeling and what you're feeling and why you're feeling. But lastly, I want to say as well to what Zwelibanzi said, is not only just knowing the questions about why about you, but know about why about others around you. Why have you got the parents that you've got? What are their job roles? So what was you supposed to learn from them when you was born into this world? What area do you live in? What can you take from that? Because you're products of your environment. Mommy and daddy said you're going to use certain, catchphrases that they say and stuff like that. You know, you're going to pick up on things from people that live within your area. So it's important to know, it's like pieces of puzzles. Okay, who you are, where was you born, what are your parents, what were their job roles? So what can you learn from their job roles? How does that all add up to who you are and where you're going in life? That is also part of your higher self. So I just want to really put that out there. But before we go over to Anna with a final question, I want to say a major congratulations to Coach Jeet, who just got married.
Yay!
Thank you.
Zwelibanzi's talking about you could be single, you could be married. I'm like, Coach Jeet just got married to the woman of his dream. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
So Anna, we want to wrap up with you. So drop us the last question and go to your speaker who you want to give that to.
I think that that it's very important to, adding on to what you were saying, your roles do change within your life in periods of time, but also within the same day. So yeah, of course you're married in the morning, and then of course you're married throughout the day, but you have a different role that is not as a wife or a husband when you get to work. Although sometimes, you get distractions and like, hey, what's going on? But it's true that that one thing that personally was very important to transition from was individual worker to collaborative worker and then leader. And I think that I really would like to hear what everybody has to say about those transitions within their lifetime. Go ahead, Coach Jeet.
All right. Thanks, Anna. Thank you for sharing that amazing question. For me personally, I feel that, being a leader, you need to be first self-aware to the core. You cannot mess up. You cannot have trial and error, because millions of lives are depending on you. They're looking up to you, looking for solutions. So you need to be at a stage of your life, like Zwelibanzi said, that you are where you want to be exactly. And now, being a leader, your job is to always upgrade yourself, progress and growth, and you have to keep growing and growing and growing. And that's what leader is all about. When you grow, you take your people, your followers, you can say, but make them leaders along with you when you go along. So you become a wave, like, you know, like a sea, like an ocean. And it's amazing feeling when you are a leader, when you have so many people relying on you. And it's phenomenal. Like, you know, like Ché, she has been leading our group so amazingly. I mean, she has been organizing stuff, talking to us, motivating us, keeping us together, and doing things. I mean, it shows that what a true leader needs to do. And being a leader, it's a responsibility to make sure that everyone gets their chance to express themselves, what they are truly capable of doing, and giving them their true destiny. You know, that's what I have to share.
Okay, Zwelibanzi?
So from my side, I think, you know, being a leader, you need to be aware of a lot of things. The one thing that's quite important about self-awareness is the impact that you have on others, because as a leader, you have a direct impact on others, and your energy levels will impact the energy levels of the people that you lead. The way that you do things will impact the way that people will react towards you and react towards the situations that you are in. So as a leader, the one thing that's very important is being able to know where you are at and the impact that you have on others, but most importantly, to be aware of the energies of other people and how they impact you. Because a lot of the times we always think about how we impact others, but people also impact us in what they say, what they do, and what they say. And it's very important for us to actually start looking at how do we do things in a way that when people impact us, or when people do things and they do certain things, we react. And it's very important as a leader to be aware of that, what you say, what your energies show to others, and how others impact you as a leader, and how you react to those things that your people that you lead actually do. So I'm going to keep it that short, because I think that's an area which is, there's so much that you can say, and there's so much that your energies, and how your energies impact the people that are in your life and the people that you lead, as well as how they impact you and how you can react to that. I think it's a whole topic on its own.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll cut it very short and leave it there.
So Anna, you want to ask Lucy the question again?
Sure. I would like to add that definitely emotions are contagious. And leaders, or the mood of the leader, does have a higher impact than the other way around. So that is also something that you have to be aware, like, okay, what affects me most? And that reflection after something, you know, maybe not ideal happen, or a negative interaction. Okay, how can I react to this better in the future? Because what happened, you also have to kind of forgive yourself if you had a negative interaction or it wasn't ideal, but you definitely cannot forgive yourself for not doing that reflection after and saying, okay, next time I'm going to be prepared, or I'm going to do this in this other way. Lucy, the question is, how does self-awareness or being your true self help you in becoming a leader? Because you go from being an individual collaborator to being, you know, a collaborator, and then with others as peers. But then when you lead others, you do have a responsibility to them. So how does knowing yourself help you in that journey?
Oh, for sure. Anna, thank you for the question. This is very powerful when we talk about that, because imagine if I'm going to a speaker gig, or if I'm going to talk to an audience, and that day my energy is not so great. So I have to deal with myself, because I have all those people waiting for me there, and that they are expecting to take something home that I'm there to bring to them. And if I'm not able to cope with myself, with my energy, my own energy, I will not be delivering the expectations for my audience. So when I came from an individual person to a leader at the moment, and I'm still growing, and I grow every day when I'm relating with my audience, with people that are leading, are looking for me for something that I have to give to them, that they believe I have to give to them, because I have that gift. And I am taking from them as well the experience and growing from that as well. It's really it's really important because you don't stop growing. As Ché said, we are growing. This moment is one moment, and next week is another moment. We're gonna be in different places. Thankful to the interaction that we have with our audience, the audience with us. I have something that is very powerful. It says, in this world where you can be anything, be yourself, because everybody else is taken. So it's good to remember this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank everyone for this wonderful interaction. I was very blessed to be appointed to lead the conversation today. And I want to thank Ms. Ché, and I want to hand it over to her to wrap up the call.
Amazing job, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Great job. That was fantastic, as we say in sign language. Fantastic. So I think that's really beautiful what each person has had to say, and to hear each person's, personal experiences, what's led them to the place where they are today, or, by being aware of themselves. So one of the things that I want to say in regards to the last question is, because Anna said something, and so did Zwelibanzi, and it's also about being aware of when you are in those negative situations and those negative environments. It's okay to know to take yourself out of that if you know it's not serving you and your higher self and your higher purpose. It's okay to no longer be friends with somebody that you was friends with for years. It's okay. Things change, people change, you evolve, you grow. Okay, those that are for you are truly going to be for you, and those are going to be the ones that's going to be genuinely supporting you. But don't keep yourself in toxic environments, because that will make you stagnant. Okay, you want to be around the people and the things that are going to uplift you and grow. So it's about being aware of how you're feeling when you're around certain people, because depending who you're around depends on what they can bring out of you. Bringing the best out of people, empowering them. Look at the energy that Coach has. Coach energy is all about empowering, bringing people together. But do you know what? I want us to just go along the line, but I want to start off with Lucy. Lucy, I just want to hear what you think the most powerful thing that you can leave the audience right now. Somebody that's listening and they're struggling with self-awareness. What is the one powerful kit that you can give them, Lucy?
Confidence. Believe that where your mind is taking you, well, faith is based as well on confidence. If you have faith in what you believe you want to be, if you can see your goal at front, just have faith, have confidence, and get there. Don't let anything around you to take you from your road. I came from a very toxic environment, and that's how I made who I am today. So I took myself from a toxic environment, as you said, Ché, and I really appreciate. I really like to say to my audience and to people, get your goal no matter what, and don't let anybody let you be down or think different of where you want to be.
That's powerful. Thank you so much, Lucy. We do appreciate your words of wisdom. And something that Zwelibanzi said to me a few days ago when we were speaking, and I don't know if many of you will remember, but he said that across the globe, so therefore we're all going to have different mindsets, different perspectives, different way of looking at things. Anna said it as well at the start of this call. So I think this is something that's so powerful. So I'm genuinely interested in hearing the words of wisdom that you've all got to share. So Zwelibanzi, the audience that's listening right now, somebody that's going for a big issue right now, going through the problem of self-awareness, one key tip that you can leave them to really boost them, empower them, to help them be more self-aware and get them on track.
One thing that's important is for you as a person to not fear who you are. The words of, it actually wasn't Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela actually said this. He said that we're not scared of what's out there, but we are scared of the power that we hold within us. And I can say who we are is much greater than what is out there in the world. And you can only really be great by actually touching in and holding on to who you are and what you bring to the world. all of us have something to contribute to the world, and all of us have to touch that and bring it out to the world. And you are a light to the world, and don't let anybody else snuff out that light by making you feel insignificant. What you have in you, the world needs to see. So go out there and light shine.
Yes. Don't let nobody snuff out your light, people. You know what? You're the one with the gold. You're the one with the wisdom, okay? Everybody has got inside of them what they need to have in order to get them forward in life. And like Anna was saying earlier on, if you don't know something and you're going to need something, then fine. Then calling those people to help, you know, get in the place for where your weak area is. Because where my strength is somebody's weak area. Where their weak area is, that's where my strength is, and vice versa. You know, these are the things that help the world go round, all right? That's absolutely powerful. Zwelibanzi, you're just dropping out the gold like, here, take it. Okay, let's go with Coach. Coach, those that are listening right now, self-awareness, give them one key tip just to power them up, Coach.
One thing I would like to share with everyone, which will be a little conflicting and contradicting whatever ideas that you have listened or heard or everything that you hear everyday life. Must be hearing, think and do stuff, but one suggestion, if you ask from me, from heart, I would say, follow your heart.
Yes.
And everything will fall in place. Just touch your heart, have faith in yourself, and you will know what's the best thing waiting for you out there. You don't need to worry about anything in the world, no money, no appearance, no fame, no glory. Just you be yourself and just listen to your heart. It will take you to everything that you deserve and you're born to be.
Freedom! Yes! I'm so resonating with that. Coach. Freedom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Anna, leave the audience with one powerful tip. Okay, this was your choice subject, Anna. Leave them with a power. Help them. One thing, self-awareness.
Just internalize it, that it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to take the reins of your life and do what you have to do. This isn't about what your boss thinks. This isn't about what your parents taught you when you were a kid. This is about what you have the power within yourself, and it's your responsibility to unleash that power.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, it is. Responsibility is very, very, very important. Yeah.
Anna, that blew me away like, whoa! I love that. What was that, Lucy? Did you just say something, Lucy? I didn't hear that.
Me? Oh, yeah? No, I just totally agree. It's the responsibility is the main thing. If people don't take responsibility, they don't get anywhere. And try not to connect with negative people. Be away of negative people. Just connect with people that want to be where you are.
Absolutely. Negative people and positive people are shaping our mindset. Don't you notice that when you're around certain people, you start talking like them? You know, you pick up on their ways. So it's so important to be self-aware of who's around you and the things that's coming out your mouth. Is it edifying? Is it building, growing you, taking you anywhere? You know? But like Anna said, take responsibility. This is my life. I'm going to live it the way I want to live it. I'm going to live my calling. And you know what? Don't worry about if you've got thousands or millions of people for you or not yet. The people that are for you, they will resonate with you and they will find you, okay? Rome wasn't built in a day. This is about building and growing. Okay, we're going to just quickly wrap up. Zwelibanzi, we're going to come over to you quickly. Right, our topic for next month. What should the audience tune into? Tell them.
Okay, great. So next month we have a very exciting topic, and what we're essentially going to talk about is what is holding you back from achieving the things that you want. And the one topic that we're going to focus on in that area, fear. A lot of us are held back by fear. We're held back by being scared of the unknown. So next time we will be talking about how do we overcome being scared of things that keep us from achieving the things that we want to achieve in life. So tune in and I look forward to hearing everyone's opinion on that, and looking forward to learning from everybody and sharing with you my thoughts as well about how to overcome fear in your life.
Absolutely fantastic. I want to thank every single speaker for taking the time out to share their words of wisdom, to share their gold and share their gems. Thank you very much to Anna for leading this conversation. And I'm really, really looking forward to next month, okay? Sometimes it's the fear of success or the fear of failure that holds us back. So tune in to find out how we can help you kickstart and get out of that mindset and to turn your dreams into reality and live the life that you want. Thank you very much to everybody that's been tuning in. Tune in every first Sunday of the month. See you guys then. Peace out. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
everyone. It was great chatting.
It was awesome.
See you guys.
Have a good week and good month.